And we're back at it like a bad habit, chat. Rednation in the cut. What's good with y'all, man? What's good with y'all? So today I have a special video, okay? Diving right into it. This video is not about creating a build, right? I normally do build videos where I show you guys how to create builds, right? But this one is going to be a little different. Instead of focusing on creating one build, I want to teach you guys how to create the most toxic build, what works, what doesn't work, right? What's my mindset when I create a build, and how do I get all of these rare builds that you guys see in the video? In a lot of my comments, I get a lot of, hey, Red, when are you going to drop this build? Hey, Red, when are you going to do this? Hey, Red, can you show us how you do this move? Right? A lot of that has to do with the build setup, and that's the reason why I'm here. So whether you make a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, or a center, this video will work for you. Guaranteed. It doesn't matter how you do it because the logic behind making the build works the same exact way. For this preference, I will use power forward. This is the normal position that I choose to play, but you guys can make whatever you want and it'll still work the same. Okay? Right-handed or left-handed is completely up to you. And jersey number, lucky number 7. All right? So this is how this works. Okay? Now, I know you all know how the skill breakdowns work, right? Now, in this new current meta, the newer skill breakdown charts are these 4 here, right? And they actually help you a lot, but you don't have to worry about that. So depending on what type of build that you're making, whether you want to make a slasher, whether you want to make a shooter, you want to choose a pie chart in which fits what you're trying to do. Now, in this current meta, right, I would definitely recommend always choosing a pie chart, right, that gives you some shooting, right, and some finishing or some playmaking or whatever you want to focus on. But you want to make sure that you can shoot, all right? Now, for me, if you want to shoot this year consistently, right, you want to have a 63-pointer. Now, if you can get a 63-pointer, you can shoot. Guaranteed. Now, what I would recommend is not having a 60, but taking a 68 or a 69, somewhere in there, so that way when you get to 99 overall, you have like a 70, 74, somewhere around there. It's just a lot better, but it's a preference, right? But as long as you are within the 60 range this year, you can shoot, right? Getting good dunk animations, all you need is a 70, and then after that, you just have to equip dunks. So keep that in mind. Now, the reason why I made this video and I want to show you guys something is how the badges work. Badges are so crucial on your builds, and it really does make a difference. So for this example, right, I will do green, blue, more blue than green, right? Okay. So physical profiles, depending on if you're a big or a short dude, you may want to have higher speed or higher vertical. You may want to have higher vertical, higher strength. Me, I choose this balanced one here. The reason why is because this video will also be teaching you about how to create like unique names for your build, right? And it has to do with your physicals. Physicals really do make that difference. Now, here's something that you guys may not have known, right? So if you put points in the close shot, all of your layups will be super easy to do, right? You would think driving layup is what you need, right? But it's actually close shot. Everything is close shot related inside that paint, just as a FYI, all right? But we're here to talk about badges. So Red, how do you get the most badges for any build? Okay, so the first thing I do is I work on my shooting, right? I want to have, like I said, a 69, right? But what I would actually do is lower it to 66. The reason for it is because at 99 overall, I'm at a 70 plus boost. I should be able to shoot consistently all the time. Level 1, like as soon as I start. As soon as I start the game, I upgrade my 3-point shooting to 66. I should be able to shoot, all right? And then after that, I bring this to, you see what I'm doing here? I'm playing around with the points to ensure that I'm getting everything I need. So 70 is where I want it to be at, all right? And then post phase, obviously, because, post phase are really OP this game, right? And then you kind of like play around with it. See how many points you have. 87 gives you 13. So now I'm looking at this like, okay, I have 13 shooting badges and I still have a bunch more attribute points remaining to spend. And you see how I'm playing around with this to see if like, okay, I can have an 86 post fade. Perfect, because at 99 overall, that brings it to 90. You see, that's the kind of math you want to do when you're creating builds. So, right, because I'm playing a big, right, why not have a little post scoring in my bag? So post hook, right, standing, right, you want a max standing dunk. I can bring it to 80 and then close shot. Now look at that, right? Bring close shot down to 86. So I might even bring standing dunk to 76. Yeah, that looks better. So all of my features are aimed towards ensuring that I have everything at my disposal to be great. All right, since I'm a big, this is where it kind of differs. As a big man, it's defensive and offensive rebound to get the most badges, right? Even though I'm not a red build, you'll see after I put in points in the block, I gain a bunch of badges, right? Playmaking badges go up really fast for bigs. All you have to do is increase pass accuracy and increase post control. So you max all three of these, and you'll get a shit ton of playmaking badges as a big. So look at that, for example. 15 finishing, 13 shooting, 16 playmaking, right? And then after that, you can even fuck around with it. It's like, oh, that's a little too much. Post control 70, because you know I said I'm going to be like a post on this build, right? I can lower this. I can bring this to 66. Boom. Now I got 12. I got 27 more points to play with. And those points can be aimed, you guessed it, towards driving dunk, right? And it brings me to that 70 range, which I was telling you exactly where you want to be at, right? You can lower this or increase maybe your three-pointer if you want to have a higher three. This is just how you dabble. And then after that, you just kind of take away from something and increase other stuff, right? For example, I'm like, okay, I can take a hit here, right? Get that there. I can take a hit here, right? Okay, but I want to maintain I have 6. So I have 4 points more to spend in which I can put into this to get more shooting badges. You see what I did there? To kind of like mid-max a little bit on like what I want to do, right? And because I'm a big, I didn't go steal, but it'll work the same way with steal. So instead of like if you play like a small forward, point guard, or a shooting guard, steal benefits more for your build. But as you can see, that's the logic behind that. And if you look at my build and you see how I like put my points in, a lot of it is going to change and into new brackets because everything is in brackets of 10. So whenever you go from 60 to 70, you're in a new bracket category and you get more animations the higher your bracket level, right? Cool. Body shape. So a lot of people say body shape doesn't matter, right? That's not true. So if you made a solid or a compact build as a big man or slight, you actually get less contact. There's a reason why you see all of those bigs. They make these burly builds, and then like they're always in your way, and people are like, "Bro, this man is so big, right?" Me and you could be the same height. We could both be 6'8", but I'm burly, and you're solid. For example, it's not the same. So built is where you want to go, in my opinion. It's my preferred body shape for characters, and you get a bunch of animations, a bunch of contacts, and you're more likely to get blocks. Okay. As a big. 6'8", like I said, is good, but I'm gonna play at 6'9", right? You can also go 6'10" or 6'11". It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if you take a look at your stuff, you're still going to be exactly where you're at. But 6'10" would be the sweet spot because that way at 99 overall, you still get the 70 driving dunk. So make sure you're paying attention to what you're minusing when you're losing these things. But like I said, I would be playing it at 6'9". It's just my preference. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you want to minimize that weight so you can get the most speed. Not true. Not true. Not true. All right. As a big man, right, my goal, I want to be strong. I want to be able to bully. I want to be able to push you around. Right. There are multiple ways as a big to get to the paint. So, and this is just my logic of thinking. So I would be playing around with that weight. Okay. But you do whatever you like. It's completely up to you. It's a preference there, but like me personally, I'd like to be stronger than faster, right? I would probably go no less than 60 speed. So right here, 272 is probably what I would be weighing. Super heavy, but I'm still in the 60 bracket, right? And at 99 overall, everything will be in the 60 bracket, and my vertical will be in the 70. I will be slamming stuff down. Now, Wingspan is another key indicator on if you're going to get a really interesting name for your character or not. All right, the reason why that is, right, this could be the difference between max wingspan, minimum wingspan, whatever, right? Let me show you what max looks like, right? And, I get post stake and rim protector, just to give you an example, right? And having max wingspan, as you can see, it'll just give you a normal name. You've seen this before. You've seen finishers before, right? But watch this. Changing that wingspan by 1 or by 2 potentially gets us change, your build name. As you can see, I don't get rim protector tape when you lower that wingspan, but they still call you a finisher. But think about this. You have a 75 three-pointer now as a finisher. You see, it's clickbaity. It's very interesting. It's something unique. It's something different. Playing around with these build types and changing the names up causes all types of differences to your build. A paint defender. You see what I'm saying? And all I did was change it over like 2 or 3 dots, and then after that, just make sure you take a look at your attributes after you are finished. But I don't want to make this video too long, but that's kind of the idea that like how I look at stuff, how I play with the builds, determining those skill breakdowns and your physicals. and then playing around with your weight. Now, mind you, your weight does make a difference on your name. So, for example, if I go all the way down here to minimum weight, but then I max the wingspan, they may not call me a finisher. They may call me something else. It could have a completely different name. But no, they still call me a finisher. So, but weight plays a part in naming conventions for your character. And then after that, it's just all about playing around with your wingspan, right? And seeing what other names you get because of your wingspan. They really want to call me a finisher here for some reason. Bad example here, but they really want to call me a finisher. If I go taller, right, and then I minimize the weight, but then I minimize my wingspan, they probably would give me a different name. No way they call me a finisher now. But that would be like an example. They're still calling me a finisher. Clearly this game is cheesing. But normally when I do this and I'm playing around and like just playing with the sliders and changing stuff around, it'll give you different names for the different feats. But for some reason, maybe it's because of the pie chart, it's just calling me a finisher. But like I said, super clickbaity, because it's calling you a finisher as if you're somebody who just slashes to the paint. But you're a finisher who can shoot potentially and shoot really well depending on how you make it. If you go 6'8", so I know for a fact 6'8", they won't call you a finisher. Or they still, actually 75. I think they're still gonna call you a finisher because you can't get a 76 3-pointer. No, a mid-range facilitator. So something different. There we go, right? You may have seen mid-range facilitators before. I've seen mid-range facilitators before. Build may not be exactly the same on how I crafted it here, but you know, just curious on the type of names you can get based off your height, based off your weight. A post facilitator, I ain't seen one of those before. Like Jermaine O'Neal. Come on, we haven't seen Jermaine O'Neal in forever. But these are great examples on like how you get weird names, because I get that a lot. Like, oh, Red, how are you getting these weird names with these builds? But as you can see, even though like I already played around with the build and I made these differences in the game, right? And playing around with the different levels and the different like skill brackets, I still kind of get what I want and get a cool name. So that is something that I wanted to show you. That is something that I wanted to share with you so that we can ensure that we're making great builds in the future. I know a lot of you guys have extra badges to spend and you're tired of playing your old builds. These are some of the tips and tricks that I use when I'm creating builds, and I wanted to share that with you. If this video was helpful in any way, man, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with your boy Red. This has been Rednation, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay toxic.